All right, everyone, how do we create Facebook ads that do not fatigue? Seems like the question that's splitting up all the Facebook advertising gurus out there. On one side, you have people that saying creatives don't fatigue and that you don't need to worry about it, and others saying that you need to be constantly testing to avoid this problem. Well, here are my thoughts on it and how they could apply to your business too. Now, I'm sure you've all experienced this. You see a winning ad, it's going great, and as soon as you start to scale your budget, ooh, it just crashes down and you don't really know why your performance dropped, what's happening, and that's kind of it. You're left there pretty speechless, not understanding why it's happening, or maybe it's just been running for a month and it just suddenly stops. In this video, I'm going to be going over why that happened, how it happened to some of our ads, and what we do to actually prevent it in the future. If we're going to be taking a look in the ad account right now, I'm going to be showing you this particular ad, and over the past 30 days, it's only spent around $251 and maybe 60 cents as well. Now, again, that's not a lot for an ad to be spending, but the problem is if we tried to scale our campaign up with this ad in it, this wouldn't get good results at all. And I'm going to be directing your attention to one key metric, and that's over here, the frequency. For only $250 in ad spend, we're getting a 2.16 frequency, which means people are seeing this over 2 times on average over 30 days, and this has only reached around 10,000 people. This is one, not nearly big enough audience group to reach with this particular ad, and two, the frequency is way too high for this little of ad spend. So it's no wonder why this particular ad is fatigued, because people are seeing this too many times for a short amount of group. If we tried to scale this up anymore, we're gonna see crappy results. Now, if we compare this to another ad, let's compare this to another ad that's getting a significantly higher spend and has a lower frequency at the same time. So this batch 105 UGC-Clayton over here is getting over $1,100 in ad spend, reaching over 84,000 people, impressions of 130,000, and the frequency is only a 1.5. Now, a 1.5 frequency is not bad. Originally, we would probably like that a little bit lower, but given the amount spent is over quintuple the amount of the other ad, and the frequency is lower, is meaning that this ad is reaching a broader audience. And reaching that broader audience is actually allowing us to push the ad to more people and gather that top of funnel for them to be inserted into our business. This ad is by far going to be a lot easier to scale, is going to have way better results, and is going to allow us to manipulate and kind of create variations off of it because of that frequency and ad spend. So why is this the case? Why does targeting a larger audience actually help your ads produce rather than narrowing down on a specific group? So why does one have a higher frequency and the other with more ad spend has less? Well, it's quite simple, and I'll explain it. So every ad that you create appeals to a different audience and different people. So imagine this circle right here. That entire circle is your audience group. Now imagine that square in that circle is your actual ad and who it reaches in that audience. Now I'm going to create a couple more. Here's a bigger circle. Here's another one, and here's the biggest. So each one of these ads are appealing to a different audience group, and Facebook creates that audience and creates the size of it. So the bigger the circle is the bigger of audience that your ad actually appeals to, which means your ad is going to be pushed outward to a larger group rather than being stuck at this little circle up here. So Facebook wants to keep its consumers happy. It wants to keep the engagement high for any of the consumers that use their platform. So whenever you push out an ad, this is how that they're separating it. They're pushing it out to, let's say, 100 to 1,000 people, and they're judging whether or not people like it. This can be based on the watch time, the engagement, how they comment, if they like it or not, and even if they stay for half a second longer than someone else. They're putting them into a good category or a bad. If they're in the bad category, they use the data from that user and stop pushing it towards that particular audience. And the people that did respond well, they take that data and push it towards more people that suit whoever engaged higher with it. And this process keeps going on and on. They keep sending it to more people that react the best until it creates a hierarchy of people that really engage with your audience. That's what optimizing is inside Facebook. So if you don't have an ad that has mass appeal, so in this example, that's that real small audience circle. If Facebook doesn't push this out to a larger audience, that same audience group is going to be seeing that ad over and over again. But if you have a product that has a mass appeal and has a huge circle, people or a big audience, Facebook can then push your ad out to more people and they're not going to be seeing it over and over again, meaning that creative fatigue of that ad is going to be lasting a lot longer rather than that small audience group. And this leads into the burning question, what makes a mass appeal ad? There's two main categories I can put this into. The hook, this is going to be calling out a large appeal problem to your audience. And then the desire, is your ad reaching a large enough desire group that creates want and for your people to continue watching? If your ads are very narrow, then you're going to have a narrow audience group. So the broader you can go and the broader desire that you can attract, the broader hook that you can get people to be interested in, the better and the larger audience group that you're going to be attacking. So when you have a mass appeal ad, you can run this for months or even years. You're going to have a consistent flow of sales, and all of this is while maintaining profitability in your account. For your low spending ads, these are the ones that are targeting a lower audience group, which are people that usually visited the website before, have often viewed your account a lot, which means they're either already bought or they're finished buying in the first place. Why is this happening? This is because your visuals don't really create mass desire and they're really niche down into a specific part, or your hook is too narrow. And this is how you're going to be creating more ad spend, lower frequency, and have a higher chance of your ad performing in the long run rather than just a short-term 1-week burner. Now, if you have any questions on any of this, drop me a comment below. I answer any and all comments. And until then, I'm going to see you next week.